Azamat Bakoyev will fight Torres Finney at the UFC Apex in a middleweight contest at UFC Vegas 108 on August 2nd. Bakoyev asked for this fight. He said he wanted to rid the UFC of Torres Finney and his fight style, which is not entertaining for the fans, and he got this fight. Bakoyev was joking that his dream arena to fight in is the UFC Apex early prelims. I have to stop joking on X. UFC doesn't have a sense of humor. He's now fighting at the UFC Apex. Azamat's better everywhere besides maybe wrestling. This is the biggest disrespect to me ever, is what Bakoyev says. Bakoyev's gonna look to stuff the takedowns of Finney. Finney's just gonna look to take him down and hold him down, do no damage, but Bakoyev's gonna try and stuff takedowns like he did in his last fight against Ryan Loder and then blast him with punches until he's KO'd. Dan Ige is gonna be taking on Patricia Pitbull, UFC 318, July 19th in New Orleans, Louisiana. Both these guys are kind of like a mirror matchup. Stocky power punchers who like to strike. This should have been Pitbull's UFC debut, but it was against Yair. Nonetheless, this comes pretty close and early into his UFC career. Some people are wondering why Bryce Mitchell will be dropping down to 135, but he will be. He's dropping down to bantamweight and making his debut there in the UFC against Saidnur Magomedov. That's July 26th in Abu Dhabi. Bryce is coming off that chokeout loss to John Silva, and Magomedov's coming off a decision loss to Vinicius Oliveira. Vanessa Demopoulos will be taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. It's a short notice fight. This is just next weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. That's the card, which will be headlined by Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. Rampage Jackson says he'd be down to box on Aiden Ross's brand risk show against Rashad Evans, as long as the money is right.
That's actually crazy.
I'll box Rashad Evans in your show.
No way.
For sure.
On God,
You would really fight on brand risk?
you'll fight Rashad Evans on brand risk.
Hey, I'm be honest. If the person's right,
Okay. We'll talk about it.
you hit me up. We boys now.
Oh, that's
Bro, that'd be such
sick.
a
Rashad, he'll be down too.
Oh my God.
He'll be down.
Sick.
That's actually crazy.
Maycee Barber's coach says, for the record, Maycee didn't pull out of her fight. She refused to surrender in spite of what was happening to her medically. As our coaching staff, we decided to call the doctor in, even as she begged us not to. What we saw was too dangerous. I'm proud of her bravery. She showed in the face of medical emergencies. Most fighters would have ran for the door. They don't even seem to know what happened, like maybe pseudo seizure. I don't know what, like if her health issues plus a bad weight cut and pre-fight jitters led to that, or maybe it was a panic attack. They don't seem to know. It's very vague.
I hate going back and being like, we have no answers, but we're not entirely sure what happened. Obviously there was a medical emergency, but there was something that happened, and I don't exactly remember everything, but there was a event that happened in the back when I was warming up, and the doctors, the commissioners, like everybody saw it, and the commissioners were, I guess they were asking me if I was okay, and I was saying that I was, and then they didn't think that I was, and so from what I was told, like the coaches were like, we're not quite sure, so they were trying to figure it out, and they ended up all going and getting the doctors, and next thing I know, I was in the back of the ambulance and being transported to the hospital.
Don't encourage anyone to run up to these pro fighters. Pro fighters are pussies, okay? They're only good in the ring. People I know will not accept a loss, okay? If a pro fighter did his jujitsu on him, then the guy's gonna come back and duct tape his family, okay? You don't wanna fuck with the wrong people. And the wrong people out here in the world are not pro fighters. You guys need to wake up. These are very big time squares. Pro fighters are the epitome of squares. They're like, come in the ring and I'll fight you. The people I grew up with and went to prison with, they don't give a fuck a ring. They don't give a on camera. They don't give a life in prison. You will not beat them. They will not take a loss. You guys live in a fantasy world where pro fighters aren't the biggest squares on the planet. UFC fighting is gay. Like all that shit, like MMA fighting and all that shit is for people who never really were in fights. Like they never whooped ass their whole life. So they're always like, I'm gonna train and fight. Like I've always just handled shit very easily. I never had to think about fighting because I always just extinguished the problem however I had to. So the point is like, that's for people who like never could really fight. They had to go learn to fight. I mean, people who just handle business, they don't have to learn to fight. There's a difference between fighters and violent people. You should really stay away from violent people because it doesn't matter how good you are at fighting when they want to take it to the level. They'll take you out. And so there's a huge difference here. You guys have it all misconstrued. Fighting is some weird sports shit that is all these people do, and it has nothing to do with violence. Because a violent person will end your life. And you'll be like, wait, put the gloves on. And he's not going to hear it. And it's going to be a problem for you.
El gran campeón de la noche, una noche sumamente asombrosa y ardiente. Ángel, dime, ¿qué fue lo que pasó? ¿Cómo fue que tú te pudiste levantar de las cenizas después de semejante golpe bajo?
Have you ever been fingered by an MMA fighter before?
Patchy Mix makes his UFC debut Saturday. Some guys shit the bed in their UFC debut, but I'm going to go with him to win by rear naked choke. Mix thinks that an impressive finish is going to allow him to become part of the title conversation Saturday night.
It'll be a lot different because the octagon's bigger, I think, and then also it has. I was used to fighting in a circle, so now it has sides, so I can cut people off, and I'm looking forward to not kind of fighting in a circular cage. I've headlined almost all the cards. I'm a multi-time world champion prior to coming to the UFC, so I'm thrown on the main card. You know, I'm not headlining. I don't have the pressure to be the main event or the co-main event like I normally always am. I'm only fighting a 3-round fight as opposed to a 5-round fight like my last 5 fights have been. So it just honestly feels normal. It feels good to be a part of the card. But on Saturday night, make no mistake about it, it will be my show. I will take over the card and I will prove, you know, my dominance and how exciting and how, you know, the finishing ability that I have. Even though I haven't been here, I've been watching this division. I know a lot of guys in the division. I've trained with all the top guys in our division. So, you know, that training stops now. And, you know, anybody from the top 10, top 15, I think it's one of the biggest, deepest divisions in the entire UFC. And I'm not only looking forward to being a part of it, I plan to come and take it over. I truly, truly, truly believe I am the best bantamweight. I have more wins than all these guys. I have more finishes than all these guys, and I have less losses and have never been finished myself. So what I see is that I'm hunting the bantamweight division, and it starts with Mario Bautista at number 10, and it will go from number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of them, I'm hunting them. I will dominate Mario Bautista, and I will finish him. I will punch my record to 21-1 with 16 finishes. I will beat both the guys that are fighting for the title. I think on Saturday night, I think I could beat both those guys now. Better than, you know, credential-wise, I have more wins than Sean O'Malley and Merab right now. I have more finishes than Sean O'Malley and Merab right now. And I have less losses. You know, those guys have both been finished themselves. So, like, my level, I'm already there. But to the UFC and the casual fans that are just watching now, you know, I feel like when they see what I can do to Mario Bautista, who's on a 7-fight win streak, who just beat Jose Aldo, when they see what I can do to him, they're all going to want me to fight the winner of that fight.